Okay, this is the third test of Valor in this game. It's on Chapter 5, the Aqua Capital. So this test of Valor has 50 of the dogs and 50 lycanthropes. It's a very difficult trial of Valor. What we have going on here is that you can do this two ways. You can either kill all the dogs first, or you can kill the lycanthropes first. The dogs' aggression level is lowered significantly here. You'll notice that they don't bite you. They don't wind path off your head. They'll throw incendiary shurikens, but for the most part, you can just get off an ET safely. What you want to avoid doing, though, is killing all the lycanthropes, because what happens then is that if you kill all the lycanthropes, then you're going to see the aggression level of the dogs heighten considerably. I'm not sure if they start wind pathing and throwing more daggers and biting you, but I would imagine that's what happens. I've heard that's the case. This is just a lot of these tests of Valor. You're just running around and you can't stop moving, because if you stop moving, you're going to get pounced on. And a session for me to kill all the dogs took me about traditionally about 25 to 30 minutes, and I got really irritated at this test of Valor, because I would kill all the dogs. You know, there's 50 of them. There's 100 animals you have to kill over here. So I would kill all the dogs and then try to kill the lycanthropes, and then what would happen is I would get pounced on. The stomp that these guys do is incredible. So you want to come here with daggers, very helpful, and I'm doing the Azuna drop combo on the dogs. That's why I don't like doing the Azuna drop combo, actually. What I prefer to do is to keep moving and doing the flying swallow times 3. I didn't do it right there, but 2 Azuna drop combos will take down a dog, and you're just going to see me non-stop moving, just like in the Test of Valor for Chapter 3. Just non-stop evade, dodging. If you get stuck by the incendiary shuriken, if you want to nullify the explosion, what you do is when it's exploding, you do a reverse wind, left trigger and then dodge. Evade the left trigger and then move the analog stick in the direction you're going. If you time it correctly, you won't take any damage, but it's not very much damage if you're guarding too. So. Let's see what else to talk about. This is a long trial. This took 40 minutes or more. So I'm just letting all the dogs chase me, and then I'm letting them catch up to me, and then I'm doing the flying swallow times 3. Oh yeah, another thing, another caution about the UTs and ETs. The only time I ever delimbed any of the lycanthropes or killed them was when I was doing UTs. The ETs are just not even that strong. They're perfectly nice to use if you just want to do a quick ET charge, and then it's not going to kill a dog, but it'll take it down to almost to the point of death. And if your hits contact the lycans, it's not going to damage them. But if all your hits, if all or most of your hits are connecting with the lycanthropes, and you delimb him, then what they're going to do is they're going to start spamming body parts at you. So not only are you going to have to kill the dogs, but you're going to have to avoid getting hit by chunks of bodies. And that takes away a hell of a lot of damage. I think at the point of... Okay, yeah, so I decided to use a Life of the Gods here to fill my health up and have more health overall. At this amount of health that I have right now, a pounce at full health, if I got stomped on by a lycanthrope, it wouldn't kill me, but one more hit would, of anything. So it's not that bad if you're just going around evading. It really isn't, but if you stop in your tracks to linger, you're at risk of getting pounced. Like right there, see? It happens. It will happen to you. Not getting stomped, but you will get a lot of close calls. So the best thing to do, like I said, is... I mean, you can do any number of things. I've seen people doing the Gleaming Blade attack, but that didn't seem as effective as what I was doing here. I've seen people using the Kasurigama, or the Kasari Gamma, however you say that. But basically, I'm saving up all of my Nimpo. I'm not using any Nimpo on the dogs. I'm not using any daggers on the dogs until things get hectic. And it would be nice to know how many dogs you've killed, but there is an indication if you bring up the karma screen. The kills should add up to 150,000 since there's 50 dogs and then you get 3,000 per each kill. So once you see the 150,000, that should be when the last dog is killed. And also there's only ever 6 enemies on the screen. You're only fighting 3 dogs and 3 lycanthropes at a time here. I mean, if you kill one, if you kill a dog, obviously you're gonna have 2 dogs for a moment, but then the next guy's gonna spawn. So I just don't like standing still. Standing still is going to get you damaged unnecessarily and killed. And I was not going to even do this trial. It was so difficult. Apologize for right now. I needed to pause it, take a break from having to, use my hand so much over here. But basically, the fly swallow times 3 is a really good technique to use. And what I mean by that is, you have to have the blade up to level 3 to do it. So I don't really have a problem killing the dogs. It's just that when I kill all the dogs, then I have to deal with the beastmen. And the best way to deal with those guys, one beastman can be killed with a 360 lunar ET. But once you start killing them, they spam their body parts, throwing body parts at you, and it's hard to get off an ET because you're charging, and while you're charging, you're vulnerable. So there's the Gleaming Blade attack. Killed a couple of dogs, which is nice. So, I mean, look how passive the dogs are. These dogs are not, this is not typical. When you face dogs any other time in the game, they're extremely aggressive, and I don't even think this would be possible. So you really have to take care of the dogs first. It's just, you have to go through this damn trial, and I'm not kidding. It takes about a half an hour to kill all these dogs. 50 of them. You might be able to do it faster, slower, but I don't know. The most effective way for me to kill these dogs is what you're seeing here. I'm just going around the map and doing. I'm doing that combo. Flying Swallows times 3, and then the Azuna Drop combo. It would really be nice if you can Azuna Drop the dogs, but you can't, obviously. So yeah, this basically, it's completely redundant. I mean, I do the same thing for the entire time, basically, but I wanted to narrate this entire session just because I know things are going to happen that I need to explain and just comment about. But for the most part, it's all the same stuff. And also, since we're doing regular kills, I'm not doing a lot of ET kills. Rather, I'm doing a lot of kills that end with me doing the Azuna Drop or the Flying Swallow. You'll get a lot of blue essence drops, which is really nice, and those Nimpo drops, which is cool too. But I haven't been using Nimpo. I don't like. Okay, so the thing is, Nimpo is not effective at any part here. I mean, the Nimpo, you could take out the dogs with the Inferno, which is cool, but you don't want to hit the lycanthropes, and it's easy to accidentally target one of them with the Nimpo. With the Inferno. The Inferno is completely useless against the lycanthropes. I have the wind blades up to level 3, I believe, and so long as you're pretty close to the lycanthropes, the wind blades at level 3 will delimb them, and then it's up to you to go over there and sunder their limbs and execute them. The wind blades will sunder a limb, so that means you just got to go over to them and execute them. It's not as dangerous as it might seem, but the stakes are so high when you've invested so much time in a trial like this. And the next trial and the next chapter is even harder, I hear, and even cheaper than this. You may have noticed that corpse that has the arrows in him. We're going to need arrows to deal with the boss for this stage, the water dragon. So the only way you could actually, if you don't have any arrows, the only way you can bring arrows to the boss is if you defeat this trial, because you can't just go to the trial and take arrows if you die. So it's really badly designed in that respect. Not much consideration for the player. So it looks like I did a reverse win right there to cancel out the explosion of that damage right there. Basically, I'm trying to... I contented myself with using a Life of the Gods, but I didn't want to use any Nimpo or any healing items until I had killed all the dogs. I think at some point I accidentally slay a beastman, and then it's not the end of the world. That's what I want to stress. If you accidentally... I believe that if you just delimb a beastman, they're not going to start throwing body parts. I think it's... You have to at least kill one of the beastmen, and then all hell's going to break loose, but that's a little extreme, actually. All hell is really not going to break loose. It's just that you have to watch out for the body parts is all. And when you're trying to charge the Lunar 360 ETs, it's very difficult. It is nice that an ET will kill them, but you have to get that analog stick rotation right, and you have to make contact with the enemies. So you have to be fairly close to them, even though it does a lot of sweeping area damage of that lunar attack. And I honestly... Okay, here's the thing. I'm a straight-up guy. What I'm going to tell you is that during the course of this, I used a Spirit of the Devils, and I used a Life of the Gods, all 9 of them, and I also used a Lives of the 1,000 Gods, I believe. I used all 3 of those. But when I come out of this trial and go to the Bone Dragon, I'm not going to... I'm going to continue my quest, but I'm not going to have saved the fact that I beat this and got the Jewel of the Demon Seal, which is the reward. Because to me, I don't need a Jewel of the Demon Seal. I just wanted to have this on record that I beat this, and I want to continue on my quest. I think I'm going to need those items for the next Test of Valor. So, as long as you get all the pickups in the game, you're going to have enough to upgrade your Nimpos all the way up to level 3. It's just that if you want the final 2, you're going to have to participate in the 2 Tests of Valors that net you the Jewels of the Demon Seal. So, and also you get an achievement for beating these Tests of Valor. I don't think you get an achievement for beating all of them. No, I don't think every one of them gives you an achievement, but I know this one did. So, a lot of the times also when I'm looking back, I'm trying to see where the lycanthropes are positioned, and I'm also trying to see if I have any blue orbs on the map that I can go back and grab real quick. Yeah, the stomp, you really have to watch out for it. I cannot emphasize how much that takes away. If they stomped on me right now, I would have to resort to using the Talisman of Rebirth that I have equipped for this trial and that I use. But the funny thing is, there's 2 more Talismans of Rebirth in the next area. So what I did was I cleared this trial, and then I saved my data on another file. But then I continued my campaign on the file that had no record of me participating in this trial. So it's hard. People don't think it's hard, but it really is. It's hard and cheap and just overly long and just ridiculous. And I know this is a slow way of dealing with the dogs, but I'd rather have a slow victory than getting killed. But sometimes I was trying to do things just as slowly as I'm now, and with just as much careful deliberation, and I would get pounced on, and they would draw me off on wanting to even do this Test of Valor. But you see how I've used none of my healing items or any Nimpo, or I'm not throwing any daggers, because 1 dagger will delimb one of the Lycans, and then that will put them into OT status. Two daggers will kill lycanthropes. Now we're just jumping around, got our Nimpo drop right there, which is nice, but of course can't use a Nimpo drop if we have our key gauge filled up. So at some point I know I delimb a Lycan, so it's just going to You know, you can make it so far, but sometimes you just do a UT. Sometimes you have more orbs on the map than you realize, and you just get that instant UT, and you know, a Lycan is close by you, and then you just, you know, you kill him. It's I really wish that this wasn't this. Man, it's one of those things that I don't know if it's more luck based or just based on cheapness or skill. I mean, if I, you know, you just have to get in that one win. Sometimes I feel you just succeed one time, and then that gives you like the psychological confidence to do it. It's just that when you never beat, it's just that when you can never get in a victory, and you don't think you can ever get in a victory. I was speaking to someone who actually did this trial, and he was mentioning that the next trial is even harder. See how I reversed wind out of that IS explosion right there? Get used to that. Get used to at least doing that, because it's not going to, you know, might as well take no damage than some damage, even though it's minimal damage. But, I don't like when a trial is cheap and doesn't require skill, because I base my strategies on skill, not on luck factors. But you're going to see me screw up immensely when it's lycanthrope killing time, because I'm very poor at doing the ETs. Simply put, I'm not good at doing them. And the worst part is you're vulnerable while you're charging your attack, and since you're killing them, they're throwing body parts at you. So it's completely ridiculous. So that's why I like to have 30 incendiary shurikens available, and also have all my Nimpo. I like to use the wind blades. Very effective here. So far so good. I haven't killed any of the lycanthropes, but I just want to emphasize that if you kill one of the lycanthropes, don't make it a mistake that makes you restart this mission, because it's not the end of the world. Trust me. As long as you're moving constantly, you're going to be fine. That's another thing that I don't like about these trials. I hate having to be on the move constantly. Like, you're seeing me. All I'm doing is evade dashing the entire time, because, you know, if I stop for 2 seconds, I might get stomped on. And that's really sad that they take away so much damage from you. Anyway, there is a UT right there. Yeah, right there. That's the point where I said, damn it all. But I knew it wasn't the end of the world, because I've been in this scenario many times. Just keep moving. That's all you've got to do. Just keep moving, either up like I am or the other direction. It doesn't make any difference. Just comfortability factor, I guess. So anyway, I was thinking about not saving my data. Well, I actually saved the data, reflecting the fact that I beat this trial, but I had no items, and I wasted too many of the invaluable items, like the Spirit of the Devils that I may need for one of the other tests of Valor. And there's only 2 Spirit of the Devils in this game that I know of. I haven't done all the tests of Valor. My guide tells me what rewards there are in the Test of Valor, but sometimes my book has erroneous information. Sometimes I come across it anyway. So, and I've also seen people get like so many orbs, it's crazy. I don't know if they're cheating somehow, but and I actually put together an audio commentary of me stating that I couldn't beat this, and I was going to render the video, and then I said, you know what, let me just keep trying this a couple more times. I could probably do it if I just focus and just keep doing just being as evasive as I possibly can, and being as frugal with my items as I possibly can. And I did it, and I suspect that a lot of people who do these tests of Valor, they do the same thing I do, where they use a lot of items, and then they incorporate it into a guide or something, or just a standalone video like I do for the Test of Valor, as well as for the guide. but they don't continue on their campaign having wasted all those items, because you're going to need. This game is not easy. Obviously, it's one of the more harder games that you'll ever play. And the enemy count on Master Ninja is 100, I believe, for all these enemies. In Ninja Gaiden Sigma 1, we saw the Master Ninja number be 120, but here it's 100. Also, when I say Ninja Gaiden Sigma 1 constantly, that's just because I have no frame of reference for the first Ninja Gaiden. I know it's Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden Black, but I've never played those games. I would like to play them, but I don't want to have to keep unlocking a bunch of difficulties just to play Master Ninja mode. I do understand that the Ninja Gaiden Black is backwards compatible with the Xbox 360, so I actually might look into that. I did purchase the one off the Xbox Live store, but I don't think it has the Hurricane pack in it, which makes the game more fun. So I'm going to have to investigate it further, because the Ninja Gaiden franchise is my favorite franchise, along with God of War. So anyway, I picked up a really nice Xbox 360 controller too off of someone from eBay. I got a nice silver controller with the rotating D-pad, so I could have more of a traditional D-pad, and it also I took the rumble motors out to take a couple of ounces off. I'm going to state right now, I don't like the Xbox 360, but I do love this game, and I love how this game was optimized so nicely for this console, even though this game freezes on a daily basis for me, but it just might be my bad luck or something. A lot of people tell me their game freezes often too, which is unacceptable. But I do like the Xbox 360's controller. I don't like how heavy it is. That's why I take the rumble motors out to get it down a couple ounces. I did a video on my other channel where I did a little tutorial about that. But I do like the concave, the analog sticks on the top. They're concave, meaning there's a little hollow on top where your thumb fits in there really nicely. And it's never really bothered me until I knew about it, and it's actually something that I dislike now on the PS3 controller. I don't like how on the PS3 controller it has the convex sticks that have no little depression for your thumb. The controller I bought also, it doesn't have those little pegs on the left analog sticks, which I thought would give me a better grip, but I have a fine grip without those little pegs, so it's really nice. I was not even expecting that, but it's a really nice silver and black controller. And I do love aside from how heavy, and I think it's a little too big, that controller, but I like the variety of controllers that the Xbox has. I mean, the damn controllers won a lot of awards, but I just feel it's too heavy and a little bit too big, even though I have huge hands. That says a lot, I guess, about my preferences and how ironic people can be about their little idiosyncrasies about what they like and what they don't like. I am extremely picky. So I saw a health orb back there when I picked that up. I'm just killing dogs, as you know. Nothing new about that, but I'm kind of just waiting to see if 2 dogs would ever start chasing me instead of 3. So I know that, you know, we're wheeling down these numbers a little bit. But $50 and 50 lycanthropes, that's a little ridiculous. I like how the aggression factor is lowered. I mean, I'll give it that, but the quantity of enemies is just extreme here. You got tagged by an IS right there. And it doesn't look like much, but I'm trying to do the fly swallow. Also trying to avoid the body parts that are getting flung at me. I know I'm low on health. Ouch. That pissed me off. Now I'm going to have to probably use another item. Love when charges don't connect. It was crossing my mind when I was playing this. How many times am I pressing the left trigger and the analog stick to evade? 1,000? Maybe. Maybe 1,000 times. Shouldn't have to be like that either. So we should be getting pretty close to finishing off these dogs here if there's a god. So let's see. Do we have 2 dogs chasing me now or just 3? If it's 2, it's a really good sign. Anyway, we are going to be facing it. It'll get a little bit more intricate and involved and more entertaining to watch when I'm dealing with the beastmen, because you'll probably be laughing because I can't connect with my charges and I can't get my charges off because I'm not good at doing them. And I wasn't even going to narrate this, but I'm a man of my word and I don't go back on what I say. When I said I'm going to narrate all these, I'm going to, no matter even if they are redundant a bit. So it looks like this one might be the last dog. So I'm going to take him out, and now I'll start casting the wind blades. See how these guys are delimmed now? And also, remember how I said you have iframes during the reverse wind, which is, all the reverse wind is an evasion. So I'm going to grab this. Now I'm going to do an OT if I can. An OT or 2. Equipping the lunar. And you're going to see me really be tentative over here, but sometimes tentativeness can screw you up. So, damn, it's those things when you don't have one of those on, equipped, that's just game over, and it's really irritating. So there we go. I don't know if he was delimbed or not. I couldn't see. It looked like he may have been. But even if the enemy is not delimbed and you get a 360 ET, it's good night for the enemy. So it's really nice. And here I'm just seeing what these 3 guys are doing. I have a lunar 360 charge built up. This guy's a runner, it looks like. And he decided to throw a body part at me, and then I couldn't connect with this. Oh, I did. I chopped his head off. Got him. Now another one's going to spawn. So sometimes what I was doing, I was being very aggressive. Sometimes not sometimes, the dragon, what are they called? The Falcon Stones forward Y will gut one of these guys and then put them into OT status. The lunar works really well too. Just press the X button like once or twice. It'll delimb these guys, and then just once they're delimbed, they like to hop around and stomp. So if you're doing your evasions with the reverse wind, you'll get your iframe. So even if they try to stomp on you, you're not going to get stomped on unless you're coming right out of a reverse wind. So see how he hopped away, and then I'm going to just kind of jump around. I'm throwing incendiary shurikens. I'm just seeing where they are. But you see the problem about these charges? It's nice to get a charge. But we have to do this so many times, and there's probably about 45 of these guys left. Missed a charge right there. Gonna start throwing the wind blades. So the delim guy there got killed via the wind blades. Right there, tried to do an on-landing charge. That was nothing fanciful on my part. There we go, another one. ET, Lunar 360 ET. Okay, so yeah, one of the problems is getting interrupted and having a body part flung at you while you're charging a Lunar 360 ET, and that's a problem because it interrupts your charge and it takes away half of your life, probably, roundabout. So it's good to have these incendiary shurikens, so if you don't want to get up close, you're not going to have enough to kill all of them, obviously. I mean, if you connected with every one of these guys, you could only conceivably kill 15 of them, since we only carry 30 at a time, and we can't refill any place around here. So that's only 15 enemy kills, but that's 15 more than we could have, and then that's quite a bit less risk that we have to partake in too. So at this point I don't know, there gets a point where you stop being scared and you just get resigned to the fact that you might lose, and you kind of get into like this apathy sometimes. I get into it where it's kind of beneficial, because you're going around and saying, I'm probably going to die, but I hope I don't die, and I'm just going to try to, you know, not make too many mistakes, and hopefully I can get through this. Damn, I hate missing those charges. I'm not comfortable doing a 360 ET unless I know where every one of the enemies are. See that? That's a classic example of what I was talking about. Trying to do a charge, then he threw a torso at me. Getting a little lag right there, not sure what was going on. See how the wind blades weren't effective right there because I wasn't close enough to these guys. Now since I'm close, I might as well go in for an OT if I can, but I elected instead to just jump around and throw daggers. And one of the Lycans, he got into this death animation where his body was frozen, and he just was like, part of him was missing, and then at the end of the video, it's pretty funny, just check it out. I actually kind of go up to the body and just inspect it. But what I didn't want to have happen over here was I didn't want my 360 to freeze like it is inclined to do every single day. So fortunately it only freezes in places that, you know, don't bother me too much. I mean, look at the situation. Everybody's just throwing shit at me. It's just like, fuck. So that's why I said come here with every single item. And there got to a point where I said, you know what, I'm probably going to have to use that Spirit of the Devils too to get myself some more Nimpo. But this whole time I was, the more I got into killing these guys, the more I kept constantly making sure there wasn't just two guys, because that would have given me a false sense of hope. But I was actually looking for two guys all the time just to make sure. Because two spawners means that the numbers are dwindling down, just like the dogs. So that would have been probably my... No, I would have survived getting... I can survive getting pounced on at this point, but I'm going to be at the point where I need health. I need to stock my health back up. See that right there? The twirl they did? That was me trying to do an OT, and the game just wasn't doing it. So you see how he was delimbed and I did an ET on him, he didn't get killed. So sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. So check the dagger at him. He's in OT status. And I'm just being super cautious. Missed the 360, of course. Because one of my biggest fears when I was doing this was I'll rotate the analog stick to 360 degrees, and then I'll see the guy leaping across the screen at me, and I can't do anything about it. And I don't have another Talisman of Rebirth, but I barely succeeded in passing this, and I bet if I tried it again I could do a little bit better. It's just one of those things, like I mentioned earlier, where you get better just knowing that you can beat it and that you have at least one victory under your belt. So, yeah, these guys will punch you, they will stampede on you, they'll piss on your grave. Okay, so I'm running low on daggers here. I'm probably going to need to start doing some pretty aggressive attacks with these OTs. As much as you might think it's pretty dangerous, it is a little bit dangerous, but get those iframes with the reverse wind. If you don't know how to do the reverse wind, well, you shouldn't be playing this game. It's in the scrolls if you picked it up. All it is I was actually looking at the scrolls, and there's a technique called the reverse wind and the furious wind, and it's essentially The reverse win is just when you're not guarding and you do an evasion, and then a furious win is when you have your guard going, your holding block, and then you press the evade button. You know, that only works when you're not getting guard locked. Yeah, just love missing those charges. Down to 3 daggers. No Nimpo. Only a couple more healing items. These guys are brawlers. I mean, don't they have anything better to do than throw carcasses? At least I blocked that one. So that's interesting to speculate about. If you can block, I don't think you. I think if they throw like a head or a leg, you can block it. But I don't think if they threw like a torso, like the upper half of an upper half of a beastman, I don't think that can be blocked. If it can be blocked, you're probably going to be able to take a lot of damage though. But not if you don't block it. You better start filling your health up promptly. And if you don't have anything to fill your health up, you're going to be in a position where I was, where I had to use another Lives of the Thousand Gods or whatever it was. Ouch. So that was a good kill right there. Man. Where's the body? At some point there will be a body that is just like leaning against thin air over here, and it's funny. And ooh, a fucker! Damn him! I actually, when I play games, I'm not a screamer. It's only when I'm looking back at these that I'm actually a very calm player, even if I'm getting grabbed. It's mostly when I die and you get that screen that says you have died, or if you're playing God of War, it says you are dead, or what's it say? Yeah, you are dead. Another reason I have a lot of people probably think that since I hate the Xbox 360 so much, why do I have the avatar for my username that is the Gears of War logo? It's not really about Gears of War, although it is, because that was my first guide that I did that was fully commentated. But pretty much the cogwheel with the skull in it, that just pretty much it's symbolic of. Because I put a little tagline on my channel. It says "Hardcore never dies," because for me it doesn't. It just it might phase out and people might get really cheap about it, but it's never going to die. The only people that are going to die are the people trying to beat it, and they'll die because they'll suck at playing it. But getting back to what I was saying, I just wanted to have something on my channel that represented the death screen, and having to see either the "you are dead" screen so often, or "you have died," just the game over screen, because I see it so much when I play, because I only play games on the hardest difficulty modes. And if you do that, you're going to see the game over screen a lot, and you're going to see that "you are dead" screen constantly. So that's why I wanted to have something on my channel that represented just that kind of finality, but taking it a step further, overcoming that and clearing games on the hardest setting, and not being scared by how hard a game can be, because this is tough. This is scary right now when I don't have any items, and I know these guys are so aggressive, so deadly. Ouch. But what I was saying a moment ago is I'm a very passive player. When I sit at my, I record all these on my computer, and I have a recliner. It's an executive office chair. It's the second one I bought. They're $400 each. They're really expensive, but they have a leg rest, and it's actually more of a thigh rest for me because I have such long legs. But it's pretty comfortable. But I'm a very passive player. You wouldn't even know that I was in here playing a game, because there's the body. See how he's reclining right there? And I said to myself, when I finish this and beat it, I'm going to go over there and scrutinize that, because that's really bizarre. See that right there? It's crazy. But yeah, you would think I was in here reading in my office, not playing a game where I'm getting killed so much. Okay, so do we only have 2 guys left? Or 2 spawners? We're getting down to the wire here. We're almost done with this. This guy right here might be the last guy. Yep, this is the last son of a bitch right here. I don't think he gave me too much of a problem. I really don't think he gave me a problem. I called this guy asshole, but I took him out pretty quick. Son of a bitch. There you go. And there's the reward. The Jewel of the Demon Seal. So, I'm glad I took you guys through that. Hope you can succeed too. But before I leave you guys, I'm going to check out this body over here, because look at this. It's really atypical. Here we go. Check it out. Right somewhere. It's over here somewhere. But enjoy it. It's funny. Where is that body? I knew it was over here somewhere. I knew it hadn't disappeared. Also, yeah, definitely grab those arrows. There's the body over to the left. Look what it's doing. Anyway, enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next video.